All right, folks, before the puck drops, a big shout out to Big 8. Fellow Atlantic Canadians keeping us refreshed since 1986.
Their bottled water is straight from a natural spring in Valley, Nova Scotia. Clean and crisp.
And don't forget, 23 flavors of carbonated soft drinks made with natural sugars. Many flavors, now in cans too.
Big 8's got that East Coast charm, and you know we're all about that.
So grab a Big 8 and stay refreshed. All right, now let's get into the hockey.
Oh, guys.
Highly recommend you go watch Slapshot after the kids are gone to bed.
It has to be after the kids are gone to bed.
Just doing some good Slapshot quotes.
So here we are, almost on the eve of the precipice that is International Olympic Hockey. And I don't have a Sam Bennett Team Canada jersey.
Yet.
But you did throw your Anthony Cirelli jersey in the garbage. Can you
imagine if you ordered one of those already?
Yep. The merch has been out for a little while.
I feel bad for him, though.
Yeah.
Was that, I'm assuming, not a surprise to anybody that Sam Bennett was the ad?
I think considering the type of player that Cirelli was, that Bennett is the fit. I think maybe if it was like a more of an offensive type player that
top six, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, yes, a top six type player. You might have looked at Scheifele there.
Yeah,
but no real surprise. But
and maybe even depending who, if not Scheifele, Bedard, but depending on who it was, like who you're replacing, I guess would have to factor in. But yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, you need somebody to kill penalties, and it's not like you could have Horvat or Suzuki or Marner or Marchand. You know, not like any of them could kill penalties. You got to bring somebody else back in to do it.
Yeah. That's right.
The real mystery is how Hagel and Bennett are going to survive together on that team without Cirelli in between them.
Oh my gosh. Does it just become a kind of a let's agree to disagree after type deal? Like
they kind of already did that, right? Like, now it's without Cirelli, right? But
a little bit they've done that, but I think if I was like the coaching staff or something, I'd throw them in a room together at the Olympic Village.
Yep.
Wonder how many midnight calls they'd be getting on that one. Yeah.
Yep. You're going to figure this out before we get on the ice, guys.
Yeah. Touche.
Certainly won't be allowed to figure it out on it.
No.
You know what? Did you guys see the clip of Celebrini and Bedard asking each other if they wanted to go, like, for a fight? Did you see that?
My son was telling me about it, but I didn't see it.
It was just kind of like you could see them talking, and they talked about it, and they kind of both looked around, and ultimately were like, I'm not going to do that. But imagine if he did. I don't know. Like, there's our heart and soul guy, Connor Bedard.
Honestly, though, like it's but unnecessary, right? Even at the time. Anyway, it just is what it is. But
I wish they would have. I would have been wild.
Would the NHL have shared that one like they've been sharing goalie fights? Do you think that would be
Yeah, what is going on with that, eh?
That I'm so used to not seeing fights in the highlight videos that like I brought up the Sportsnet video specifically of the fight to show my son. And then he's like, why didn't you show the highlights? I was like, well, they're not going to have the fight. Then I put the highlights on and the fight's in there.
They will show it.
Yeah, and the NHL Network and the NHL shared the fight. in the NHL on Facebook not only did that, but shared the fight at the Stadium Series game, right? The outdoor game, and put like first time we've ever had a goalie fight outside.
Yeah.
And shared the thing. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were against, weren't we doing like... Like, I don't want to sound like I'm all for it. I enjoy it. But like, I thought we were doing this whole move, NHL-wise, Bettman and everything, to like not promoting that. I don't want it in the highlights, instigating penalties, the last few minutes of a game. Like,
I thought you weren't allowed to take your helmet off during fights anymore either. Wasn't that like an automatic game misconduct or something?
I thought, well, you're supposed to leave the ice immediately after your helmet's off. But I mean, do the goalie fights so rare? Do the refs just kind of like, you know, when they ripped each other's helmets off, they're just looking anywhere but there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, like, if that was true and it was hard enforced, the goalies wouldn't be able to fight.
No.
Be like the first punch is like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Broken hand immediately.
Yeah, there's crazy the amount of goalie fights there's been. So, side note, real quick, I feel like something that's changed. I feel like when you see fights now, most of the time it's in reaction to a big hit. And maybe, not maybe, it's because I'm old school. It bothers me that after a big hit, there's a fight every time. Like, don't you guys find that? Like, you throw a good, clean hit, it could be like doesn't even have to be like their team's best player, but then someone has to respond. And I know I shouldn't be like guy standing up for another guy and all that. I get that.
Yeah.
But like, that's not what used to happen. If you had a good, clean hit, everyone was just like, oh, good for you. You caught him.
Good hit.
You caught him good. Whatever. It was only like the bad hits, and the players knew the bad ones. They knew the malicious ones. They policed that. But like, you just don't you see like one big hit in a game, and then like, that's probably it, because it's like, well, the guy's going to be like, like, why would Cale Makar is pretty good at throwing hits. He doesn't do it a whole lot, but he can throw some big ones.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it as often anymore, I think, because someone's going to try to fight him. And so I think he just doesn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it bothers me that that's what we do now.
It didn't bother me at the time, but it bothered me. Like, I'm not going to, part of me gets it. I'm 50-50. I'm not going to lie, but I'll play devil's advocate with you. I'll go along with you here a little bit. But Toronto, Edmonton, Carlo laid out McDavid pretty good. And if I can be honest for a second, if you watch the replay, he even stopped skating almost like he just threw a big open ice hit. It had this moment of, oh crap, was that Connor? Because he even stopped when Connor didn't get up. He stopped skating, and he's supposed to be getting back on defense, and kind of coasts in, and he's looking over like, is he okay? Like this instant. And part of me was like, is this now fear? I really didn't want to hurt him. We kind of collided coming over the center line, kind of an awkward hit, but it was clean. There was nothing bad about it. The refs didn't say anything about it. You could have counted to 20, and here comes Nurse. Right? So the puck goes up ice, and I think Carlo had his glove off before Nurse did, but didn't look like he wanted to. Kind of like, well, like you said, Jay, like I don't know how I feel about it. It was just like he knew, like, yeah, I cleaned their captain. This has to happen, doesn't it? Almost like he's acknowledging, like, I'm going to get punched in the face now because I laid out a big hit. And I will say, to his credit, he didn't want to. And Nurse is a big boy. He did it. Like, he did it.
Yeah. But I think in that case, it's a little different because it's McDavid. Like, if you're going to throw a big hit on your, like, you want to send a message to everyone to say, you can't, we don't even want you hitting them because don't do it or we're all coming after you.
Oh, man. McCirelli and Gretzky. Right?
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Right? I guess I almost don't have a problem with that. I think it's more like if if he had a laid out like Victor Arvidsson, you know, I guess he's not there anymore.
Kasperi Kapanen.
There we go. You know, do we need a response for a big hit on him? You know,
the funny thing they were talking about with that one is Carlo hits McDavid, and you watch the video, and Trent Frederick, who they're paid all this money to come in and be this tough guy, is right there when it happens and just skates by it to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his attitude was like, I don't know, clean hit. I don't know.
Carlo was his teammate in Boston, so maybe it was a little just
that could be.
I'm going to go over here and get
honestly,
off. So
someone else.
I think that happens quite often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the this isn't.
Oh man, my favorite of that was the Four Nations when Matthew Tkachuk looks up and they're playing Finland. It's getting rough, and he's pushing and shoving. He looks up and it's Barkov, and he's like, all right, well, see you later. He's like, he can't. It's his teammate and it's Barkov. Like,
well, I'll tell you, not to spread trade rumors, but it was all over Edmonton radio that they are super interested in Bobby McMahon. And then one of the players rumored to go the other way if they can get McMahon for a playoff run was Mangiapane. Well, then in that Edmonton-Toronto game, Stolarz punched Mangiapane in the face. OEL punched him in the face several times. Kaber grabbed a hold of him from behind and it's like, dude, if this guy 2 weeks from now is in their locker room, it's like, is he buying steak dinners for everybody? It's like,
it's kind of like the Marchand thing when he ends up in Florida, right?
Oh yeah,
like there is like many clips of him going at it with all those Florida guys when he was traded there.
Oh man, him and Bennett had some battles, and now they're teammates. Like it's
and he'll be the first to say, it's just business, like I love these guys. What happens on the ice stays on the ice, and whatever. And
well, what I liked too, and even for the Carlo-Nurse fight happened, whether or not it should have happened, that part of what we were discussing. But then you see the clip from the penalty box, both of them, and they're yelling to each other back and forth, like laughing their heads off, like they're both smiling. It's all good. There's no animosity there.
Connor's fine.
Connor got up and had a shot on that and looked fine, and they're smiling at each other. And Nurse looked over and said something, and Carlo laughed, and it was all good. Like, no hard feelings, right? Just was what it was. But I do know what you mean, Jay. Like, gone are the days of the Rock'em Sock'em videos with a big compilation of these massive hits, because I'm wondering how scared people are to hit.
Yeah. That's it. So, yeah, but Tyson, you mentioned trade rumors, and we got some trades that are not rumors. They happened today. One of them being the bread man, Artemi Panarin, was traded today to the Los Angeles Kings. This was an interesting one. Took me a minute to kind of process what was going on here, but so he was traded to the Kings, and the Rangers received forward prospect Liam Greentree, which was their 2024 first overall pick, conditional third pick and if the Kings win one playoff round, the pick will become a second round pick, and a fourth round pick possibly in there. The interesting one is so. Let's stop there for a sec. So you're talking about first round pick prospect, conditional third, and conditional fourth for Artemi Panarin. If I just told you that part of the deal, what do you think of that?
Is he?
He's in control of. Panarin's in control of this, so Los Angeles was probably the only offer on the table.
100%.
That's my take.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, like, is it a for sure extension?
2 years.
Yeah, I think he signed 2 years at $11 million, didn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my next. I missed that part, but yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of like, it kind of reminded me a bit of the Giroux deal, when that happened. Like Drew had
actually
full control of where he wanted to go. You know, so there's not a ton of leverage there because at first I was really underwhelmed and I did the whole, why didn't this team give him that? Why didn't that? Like, oh yeah, no move clause will do that. So here's the kicker. The only part I also didn't mention was for the rest of this season, New York retains 50% of his salary. Also, that's how little leverage they had. So LA gives up basically their 2024 first overall pick, and they get Panarin, and then New York retaining 50%. So lucky for LA, that's where Panarin wanted to go. So
yeah,
Panarin's 34. You know, he's not the young Chicago guy.
I was just going to say he's not 28-year-old Panarin anymore, but
yes.
He was like the 24-year-old rookie, wasn't he? Something
yes,
like
he
that.
was. He was kind of like a late
won the Calder.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that being discussion. Yeah, you're right, Gary. That's right. I forgot about that till you said that.
Yeah, because he's played 11 seasons and he's 34. So there you go. Yeah, so I mean, we look back, like Panarin in 23-24 had a 120-point season, 49 goals, 71 assists. Last year, he had 89. It dropped to 89 points. Basically, his success has kind of followed the Rangers' success. When the Rangers dip, he seems to dip, and when they're playing well, he seems to play well. He's at 19 goals, 38 assists for this year, 57 points, 52 games. So he's over a point a game player. Whichever way you look at it, for what LA gave up, that's a pretty sweet deal for LA.
Yes. It is, and for what you're telling me he signed for a slightly over a point a game player is also pretty solid. So
yeah, I mean he's 34. It's a good like 11 million a year for that age is pretty good. It's also 2 years, so it's not like the Kings are locked up for a long time with this.
I was just going to say it wasn't a 4 or 5 year. 2 years is good.
Yeah, because everything they were saying was 50 million over 4 or 5 years is what he was asking for.
Right. So, yeah, it kind of comes to.
But he can also go. It's one of those things sometimes, like, you know what? Put your own fate in your own hands and go prove that you're worth that then.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll extend you and give you more if that's what you're worth.
So not only was he the Calder Trophy winner that year, that was Connor McDavid's rookie year.
Oh, well.
He beat he's the one that beat Connor McDavid to get the Calder.
I forgot that.
Still wild to me.
And McDavid wasn't even second in voting. He was third.
Oh, but he only played.
He was injured, yeah.
He broke his was that the collarbone?
Yeah.
It was, eh? Yeah.
Shane Gostisbehere was second in voting.
Wow.
Too much.
Yep. So here's the interesting thing with LA. Because New York retained 50%, the Kings still have $8.4 million in cap space. So, I mean, they're in a position to really like try to load up if they want.
The West is gonna be wild come playoff time. Like I am so curious as to how that's all going to shake down.
The West is feast or famine.
It really is. Like Colorado's having a year, and then there's Dallas, Minnesota, Edmonton, LA's no joke. The Sharks are creeping in here. Like it's wow.
Maybe this is one of those things that it's happened more often than I can remember. But the West has a pretty significant gap in the from good to bad, and then at the same time, the East. I mean, we're starting to see some separation now, but it's been so wide open for so long. It's just wild to me that like the conferences are so different.
The Oilers are fighting for first in the Pacific. They're 1 point ahead of Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Gary.
Buddy. Hey, dude.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, there he is.
Boys are saying hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Who's this guy, Gabe?
Hello.
Who's this guy? Who am I pointing at behind me?
My car.
That's it. What number is he? What number is he?
Logan.
What? All right. Okay, buddy.
It's Landon.
Oh, Landon from your hockey team. Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
Can you get the door, please?
I love it.
Love you, bud. Okay. Can you get the door?
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Night, buddy.
I thought he was trying to tell us it was a Taylor McCarr jersey.
You imagine?
That's funny.
Get a 16 on there. Taylor McCarr. No idea what we were talking about.
We were just talking about standings a little bit. Just you were talking about like the divide in the West, but then the East is so Toronto with the win over Edmonton, which they desperately needed in regulation, by the way, puts them 5 points out going into the Olympic break of a playoff spot. They're right in there with Columbus, right? If both of those teams are in the West, they're in 6th. So it is really quite interesting that there's teams that would be 6th and they'd be in a playoff spot in the West, but here they are fighting and like fighting with each other for this like last two wild cards. Yeah, it's so interesting.
Like, because the good teams are hogging all the points, but it's interesting. I mean, I kind of laughed with Panarin because it's like, you know, I'm assuming, however this works out, they're going to play the Oilers in the first round because that is one of the surest things in the universe. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's an arms race, but like, I don't know how you even start to compete now. It's just so insane. Like how many good players and good teams there are, but yeah, LA looks pretty good. I mean, they've got a top line now of Panarin, Kopitar, and Adrian Kempe. It's pretty good. So, and like I say, they've got they got over 8 million cap space.
That part's the mind-numbing part to me. That's
yeah. So
yeah.
So anyways, that's a big deal.
I think they're going to look pretty good against Connor Ingram-led Edmonton Oilers.
Do we want to talk about that?
It was something I had on my radar, so
okay. Yeah, I don't even know. Man, they are not the only Canadian team having really bad goalie luck this year, but this is and I don't know if he's watched that game the other night. I watched Edmonton. I'm hoping to actually catch tonight Edmonton and Calgary, at least some of it. But he won't be. He's not playing tonight. But he had moments of like he doesn't look bad. It's just not. It reminds me of. I don't want to get into a Toronto talk here because it's not the same at all. But so like you can score. The scoring's not the problem. The getting scored on is the problem, right?
Oh, it's always been the problem. It's been the problem forever.
Yeah, so like you could be 10th in the league out of 32 teams for scoring and be on the bottom because you're letting in so many. So like I'm talking, so I can't believe I feel I'm having any empathy for this team I'm about to mention, but like the Ottawa Senators, if they even had And I feel bad because they're all pretty young. They should be in their, like, heading into their primes right now. Agreed? That roster.
Yep.
If they even had average goaltending, they'd be in. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of stats where they're like among the best teams in the league in terms of how they're playing. Like they're a very good team.
But they're getting repeatedly beat.
Yep.
Allmark, whatever happened there, I actually feel really bad for him. I have a lot of empathy for that guy. Whatever was going on, and he needed some time, and then that all got worse. I do feel I don't like seeing that stuff. And then they sign James Reimer, who everybody thought was just going to be done, and now we're seeing, like, I've always liked him. I have a soft spot for him, but now we're seeing why he didn't get another.
They signed
he's
him
just kind of past. I really like him and as a character anyway, but he's past that prime of.
He went from playing for Team Canada at the Spangler Cup right to Ottawa.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and it didn't get got a PTO with Toronto to start the year. That didn't work out, and then I think he was somewhere else for like a minute, and then he ended up at Spangler, and then he's back now. He's in Ottawa, and it's just not, and they're just having bad luck on that end. And it's one of those deals where there's a couple teams like that this year where I could argue Columbus is a little bit like this as well, just maybe not as much, where they're just having some bad luck. But like, even the numbers don't lie that when I think it was the Leafs were 11th in scoring actually, and Ottawa was 10th in scoring, but they're both losing and out of a playoff spot right now because they're letting in more than they're scoring. So it doesn't matter that you're top 10 in scoring. That's my worry for Edmonton. I'm wondering what will happen when some of these unproven goalies, you guys have seen it before. I'd be curious what Jay thinks, but it can bring the best out of somebody, and then or it can go unfortunately more often the other way, right? Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, like, whoa, okay, more clutch than I thought. And then sometimes it's like, yeah, what did you expect? you let them take, it's a playoff game, it's rougher, and you let your team let the poor guy take 30 shots tonight, and then you're shocked he let in 4. Like it's
yeah. So it's just I almost look at it like you get to the playoffs. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but like you have to win 4 of 7 games. You have to be slightly better. Well, basically, you have to be slightly better than 500 hockey. You know what I mean? Which is kind of funny when you put it like that. But such a short sample, it's like if that's 2 weeks where your goalie's not playing at his best, it's just you're just gonna lose. Like you won't win. You know, so it's just so hard. I still wonder about maybe this will tie into what I wanted to mention a little quickly. Anyway, but Saros in Nashville. I like to me with what Edmonton did, there's no reason that they need to be done with their goalie. They basically traded. That's right. Biggest Juuse Saros fan I know.
I mean, guys.
You see that commercial with Ryan O'Reilly? No goals. No goals.
No goals.
Yeah, so like it's not like Edmonton needs to be done. There's really no reason they need to stick with Jari either, because they basically traded 2 goalies basically in the same situation. It's not like they just kind of swapped guys who were up and down. So to me, there's no reason that they need to be done. Nashville is going through it. Barry Trotz just quit. Which is wild. You look at like how long David Boyle was in Nashville, and they made this big ceremony. They handed him the keys to the Predators. The big deal that Boyle stepped in or retired. They handed over to Barry Trotz, and then he just he does so bad that he basically immediately quits.
I was going to ask about that. That was on my radar to bring up actually. So
yeah, that's pretty wild how fast that all happened. But so I just wonder about Saros. and if he's still available. And I don't see any reason why the Oilers still wouldn't be in on trying to get someone like him. Now, I know he's not having a great season, but he's playing with the Predators. He has seen the most shots against this season by a fairly decent margin. He has had, he's played 43 games and he's had 1,198 shots against. The next highest is Jeremy Swayman with 1,118. So he's doing more work than just about anybody. So I don't know. 313 goals against. He's just below 900 save percentage. But to me, with the amount of saves he's had to make, he's actually made quite a bit more saves than everybody else to maintain that 900 save percentage.
And I tell you what,
could he fit in an Edmonton system where he might just have to stand still for 12 minutes while they have the puck and then make a big save on a breakaway?
Maybe that's the change he needs, though, because when I picture Saros being good, Nashville was a better team.
Yes.
He didn't have to do this much work. It's he's getting lit up. It's crazy.
And I was going to say too, what the data doesn't show when you just see pure shots, as if that's not bad enough, is the quality of the shots, right?
And that's a big thing. And there's high danger chances versus
and I would argue playing there, he's actually seeing a high percentage of those are probably actually high danger chances, unfortunately for him as well. So stats.
Yeah. It's
because guy comes in for the blue line. I know there's a shift change behind me. We need a stoppage. I'm shooting it. It registers as a shot. It was a low chance shot, but it still chances. He's not fielding a lot of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That stat's not full of a ton of those type of I can't imagine trying to track that one, but that would, you know what I mean? I just, when you see some of these teams that are, seems like they're on their heels all the time, it's not just that they're taking more shots. It's by default, if you're taking more shots, you're taking more high chance shots as well. And it's, I don't know.
So it's I had to look this up because I love a good old nerdy advanced stat.
Yeah.
At even strength this season, the Predators are the 5th best team in the league at allowing high danger chances against. They've allowed 460 on the season. The best so far this season at even strength is Tampa Bay with 407. So the only teams that have allowed less high danger chances is the Knights, the Flyers, the Senators, which we talked about earlier, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's a good point. It's a good point to make on that because it tells me that, they all track high danger chances in different ways. It all depends what you consider a high danger chance, right? A one-timer cross ice shot is always going to be higher danger because the goalie's got to go side to side. So they weigh that differently. The home plate, if it's within that home plate kind of area, some models will value that higher than others. But to your point, to be he's technically on one of the better teams that doesn't allow as many high danger chances as most of the rest of the league.
Okay.
So it's I don't know, and it's interesting to me because I'm not too surprised by that because before January, every year the Avs go on the holidays in January. They play terrible in January. It's been that way forever. So they hit the wall this year again in January. But before that, when they were on those crazy runs they were doing, the team that consistently gave them a hard time was the Nashville Predators, who are, not great this year, but weird, man. You watch them play and it's these guys are really good. I don't understand what's going on here. They don't play that bad, but
No, and if you were just to blindly look at the roster without, like if we didn't know what every team's record were mid through the season, but you were to compare rosters, Nashville's not where you'd guess they'd be just based on, like, that's yeah.
I think Barry Trotz would agree. He would say, well, man, I don't know what the big deal is. You go out, sign the best players, and your team's good. That's what he kind of did, and they're not good.
It's a weird. It's a weird thing.
So the only reason I bring that up is just to say that Saros is an interesting case, because I think a lot of people will jump to say that he's on a bad team, because that's true in the standings, but the team has not played that bad in front of him. So I'm not sure if that's a red flag or not.
Gotcha.
But I just think in terms of ceiling, and you put that guy on I don't know, maybe you give him a change of scenery or something. Maybe he becomes that guy who has the ability to go on a run for 16 wins in the playoffs. Like the Bobrovsky kind of thing. Bobrovsky, like, we don't always put him in the best goalies in the league, but man, when he gets on one of those runs, he's unbeatable somehow. Right? Like, I think Saros has that kind of potential in him. So as far as Edmonton, like, I don't think they need to be done. It's not like they kind of shot their shot on what they gave up to get Jari. Like, there's no reason that they need to just stand pat on that. You've got McDavid for the rest of this year and then 2 years after. So
I don't think they can stand pat on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, there's more there to do. That they've only got 1.4 million in cap space, but they have their it's not like they've traded a ton of picks. Like, they don't have their first round for 2026, but they do have it for 27 and 28. They have all their second round picks. Like, they've got some draft capital there. And I just think, like, they could still move some guys, package some picks,
They tried to rent a car in the budget section, and now they need to move up to that luxury category.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, like, the Avs tried that, right? Like, they let Stanley Cup winning goalie Darcy Kemper walk in free agency because they didn't want to pay him $5 million a year. And they went with Grubauer, or they went with Georgiev, and we all know how that went. And now here they are paying Mackenzie Blackwood basically what they would have paid Kemper anyway. So
they went with Georgiev, and every Toronto Maple Leaf fan said, man, they're going to win cup after cup.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I remember, so when that trade happened, I was talking to Matt at the time, and he's like, they're going to beat Toronto every time.
Guaranteed shutout.
Yep. Yeah. So, so I guess that kind of ties into, I wanted to mention the Barry Trotz thing. I thought that was pretty interesting. Talked about Panarin. There also was another deal today.
Yeah.
It was Nick Bukestad to the Devils for Thomas Bordelot. Bukestad, I think, was kind of on the trade board for some people. Not as big of a deal. I just am more. What I wanted to talk about with this was like, okay, so what is New Jersey doing? What are we doing with New Jersey?
Is this just the Andre Palat replacement?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, okay, you got rid of Palat, and like, then you got Bukestad? I don't know what we're doing here. I'm not sure. Maybe
they're getting him to flip them for more than they paid for him.
Yeah. I'm just surprised they're making deals because they strike me as a team that's kind of shell shocked. Like they're just like, what happened? What happened here? Like they're like the definition. They're kind of like the Senators in that they show these flashes of like being one of. I guess you could throw them in there with like the Canadians or whatever. They show these flashes of like offensive brilliance and everything, and then when they like bottom out, they really bottom out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what those moves are for New Jersey, but
I was wondering. I mean, we got something else we got to bring up here, but before we do, I was wondering what's the next move for Winnipeg. To be honest, like, are you? Because that's kind of like a shockingly bad season for what you have going on. So, like, do you become a seller? Do you stay the course with like 90, 80% of your roster for next year, thinking like, surely it's got to be better than this and not sell a lot? Like, what? Like, I don't know.
Call up the Oilers. We say, we have proven playoff performer Connor Hellebuck here for you.
Well, that tells you like it's just goalies are insane, man. Like,
yeah.
Like we would have said, you know, he had kind of usurped Vasilevsky as the best goalie in the league. I think we were all kind of saying that a couple seasons ago. You know, consistently a really, really good goalie. Vasilevsky's getting a bit older and he kind of took that on. But then, like, man, when the best goalie in the league does that in the playoffs, like now we've got a sample size of it. Like, it's not a one-off thing. So I'm sure as a GM, you're like, well, you're just throwing your paper in the air. Like, well, who cares who you get? Maybe that's why no one, you know, wants to pay them because it's like, who knows what you're going to get?
Yeah.
Winnipeg's a tough one because it's such a hard sell to get somebody to go there in free agency or anything that you have to hold on to the players that you have. And are they becoming the old team now? Is this just a one-off bad year, or is this just a sign of things to come?
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, because like the core, I guess like Scheifele's part of that core. Kyle Connor, obviously. I mean, Scheifele's 32. Connor is 29.
They're in their prime.
Morrissey's 30. Yeah, it's not like they're like a bunch of old guys, right?
No.
So... But we've been talking about them for a while. Like, you remember, like, I always go back to, what year is it? 2018, 19? When it was like Winnipeg, Nashville in the Western Conference Final. I've mentioned it a few times, but when Nashville had Subban, Ryan Ellis, Matthias Ekholm, and Roman Josi, obviously. And they were like one of the best, the best D-core in the league. I mean, that Winnipeg team had like a lot of these core guys on it, right?
Yep.
But I think to your point, Gary, like they've had a pretty decent core. Like you've got Josh Morrissey, who always ends up somewhere's hovering around third, fourth, second in Norris voting. You've got Scheifele having a phenomenal year. Kyle Connors scoring winger, right? Like, and you're supposed to have Connor Hellebuck in net. Like that's 4 top pieces at each position.
Yep.
And they're not old. So, and I think it lines up exactly with your point that it is, they are so far from, even with those guys seeming like a destination, unless you're Jonathan Taves, who was born there, they just can't get anybody. Like they got to do it through trades.
It has to be quality over quantity when it comes to trades too. They always just seem to make the little significant trades, the Gabe Vilardi type trades.
Gabe Vilardi, Iafallo, like that was a great deal for them.
Yeah.
Like that even worked out. Like you look at what they've done, it's not like you can say, "Oh, remember when they blew it with this move?" Like they've made pretty good moves. Like,
and when the Leafs have played them, they look great. It's kind of like the Nashville thing. It's like,
yeah,
they look great. They bounces go the wrong way and they lose the game. But
yeah,
yeah.
There's nothing to point at.
No, exactly. I see them a lot in the Central. They're a frustrating team to play against. The defensive side they seem to have, it's just, I don't know, they struggle with scoring across 4 lines, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Do you guys know what time it is?
I think Gary knows.
Gary knows what time it is. It's time for the Big 8 Player of the Week.
Dave's a killer. Yeah, Dave's a killer.
Okay, so my nomination here for Player of the Week, you can give me a yay or nay, as much as he drives me crazy. Nikita Kucherov played the Jets we were just talking about the other night. Had a goal, had an assist. He was a +2. 2 nights later, they beat Boston. He had a goal and 3 assists. Actually registered 3 hits as well in that game. And then against Buffalo, the OT win, right? He had another goal and another 3 assists. The guy had 3 goals and 7 assists in the last 3 games.
Yeah, I feel like him and McDavid do this every season. They don't necessarily have
spurts of.
Well, I find like the first half of the season, they don't tend to rack up all the points. They seem to heat up in the new year. Kucherov, I feel like has been that way for a long time. And yeah, he has the ability, like he'll do that. He'll go a week where he scores like 4 points a game. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, well deserved for him. I mean, such a shifty player. It's talking about how superstars are different. I mean, he's so unique. He has a way of making the game look super obvious. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like he just sees the game so well that I feel like when he makes his move, it's so deliberate. It's like he knew it was all going to happen the way it happened way before everybody else. Like the way he moves a pass quickly, he puts it in a perfect spot. It just looks like when you watch him play and he's playing like that, you're just like, yeah, like why doesn't everyone just do that? It's so easy. But he thinks the game, I find, so well. It's like I think when you compare him to a guy like McKinnon generates a lot of chances because of his physical abilities. Like he doesn't necessarily have to think the game like that to create those chances. He can just make them happen. It's a different type of skill, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and Kucherov doesn't have any of those attributes, but he just finds a way to make the play look so easy. And he's a big part of, like, I think what makes Tampa's offense look as good as it does. He's a big part of why they've kind of come out pretty hard here in the last month or so.
Yeah, look good.
Want to point out my prediction when we started the season. I said Avs Lightning in the Stanley Cup final.
You did.
I said that. I think it's possible. I think it could happen.
Can confirm you did say that. Yeah.
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 So
very true.
And that guy's going to go rest on a beach for a month now. So just imagine how good he's going to look when he comes back.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Yep.
So
that's a solid pick. Solid pick, Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you love to hate him, even though he doesn't really do anything.
He's our first ever Big 8 player of the week. And I'm going to be trying to be unbiased when I pick him as the first. Because But he's had quite the week. A few other players had quite the week as well, but I'm going to argue he edged them out. Charlie Coyle also had quite the week. So did Radish, actually. But actually, Gostisbehere had a good week, too. We were talking about him earlier. But yeah, like even with the week Charlie Coyle had, Cooch still had 3 more points than him in the last 7 days. Like it's quite the week he's had. So
yeah,
first ever Big 8 player of the week, Nikita Kucherov. Here.
He's going to be so excited when he finds out we gave that to him.
As I toast him with my grape flavored Big 8 soda.
There you go. Congrats, Cooch. I know you're watching.
Yeah. All right, guys. Did you have anything else, or you feeling pretty good?
Ready for some Olympic hockey. Next time we talk.
Yeah,
next time we talk, we're going to be into some Olympic stuff here. I'm excited. I am excited.
It was starting to hit me this week a little bit. Like it'll really hit like Friday or what's the last game? Friday or
tomorrow? I think Thursday.
Tomorrow? Is it tomorrow's the last games? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll really hit then that it's Olympic hockey time. So we'll come back and do a preview show, but.
We're going to hit the Olympic hockey and be so excited. And then like you look at some of the games in those round robin things, like Canada, France.
That's fine.
It's going to be a slow build.
Oh yeah.
I know the Canadian women have a prelim game or whatever coming up, and it's them in Finland. And I guess Finland is so sick. I guess like they all have the flu and they're
yeah.
Yeah. Don't like to see that. You know what I mean? That's pretty brutal. Don't like to see that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I'm pretty pumped. Been a long time since we've seen this, so this will be good.
Yeah, and we had 4 nations, but I don't know. It's different, man. Different.
Yeah, this is different. So
yeah.
Awesome.
We'll see you next time for that one.
Next time, Olympic hockey. Everybody keep your stick on the ice.